Hey happy homemakers, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about what foods to feed baby first, as well as signs on knowing when baby is ready. This wiggly one is Chloe, and she's my second child, and she is currently 6 months and just starting to eat solids or purees, and she is a budding foodie just like her mommy. Anyways, I'm gonna put her down because she is very wiggly. This video has been so highly requested and I'm finally filming it, so thank you for your patience. Chloe is now 6 months old and finally showing an interest and desire in eating purees, so my mind is just kind of going back over all of that information that I gathered when Marcus was a baby. And I wanted to say that I am by no means a medical expert. This is not medical advice. Everyone has different needs. You guys should contact your pediatricians. This is just the best way that I've found to feed my babies personally, and it's a combination of a lot of different advice that I found out there. So make sure that you talk to your own pediatricians when deciding what's best for your baby. And one more thing, I am planning to make a series on this. So where this video is going to be how to know when baby is ready, plus what foods to feed baby first in those first couple months. My next two will be on baby feeding essentials, so equipment that you'll want if you're making your own baby food. And then one more video will be on recipes and how I make my own baby food at home. So stay tuned for those and make sure you're subscribed on my channel so you won't miss them. I am a major foodie, and when it comes to feeding my babies, I am just as excited. I love introducing them to new flavors. I love watching their faces when they try new flavors. So I have done a ton of research when I first started feeding Marcus, and personally I just love the French approach to introducing foods to babies. Their philosophy is essentially the first 3 years of their life, their palates are developing, and so this is a time when you just like strategically want to introduce as many different flavors to the baby as you can, so that they'll grow accustomed to those good foods and enjoy real whole natural foods and eat everything. And one of my favorite resources on learning how to do that is French Kids Eat Everything, and I feel like if kids in France are eating everything that is served on their plates, whatever adults eat, they must be getting something right. So this is a read that I highly recommend. They have a few good recipes, but really it just kind of gives you a strategy as a parent on how to introduce foods to your kids and not be picky eaters. That's like the hardest thing in America. I think so many kids are picky and it almost feels like it's inevitable, but Marcus eats pretty much everything we put on his plate, and I think it is all because of reading this book. So I highly recommend it. It's called French Kids Eat Everything, and it's by Karen Levion, which is a really fun read too. It's really interesting about a woman who moved her American family to France for a few years, and her kids had to adapt to eating everything. Especially older child was already quite picky, and she learn to eat like a French kid. So it's a really interesting read. And then the second book I would recommend is the Biba Baby Cookbook. This is also based on the French philosophy, and I really do love it. It has a lot of great recipe ideas as well as pictures. So from my understanding and kind of what I used to guide me when I was first introducing foods to Marcus and now to Chloe, my second child, you can introduce foods to babies anywhere from about 4 months to 6 months depending on your baby. You're their mother, you observe them most, so you are the best person to judge when baby is ready. But 2 tips that will help you is, number 1, how much interest does baby have? At 4 months, Marcus was totally interested in everything I was putting in my mouth. He would hover over my plate, just kind of wiggling like babies do, with his mouth wide open, just wanting to eat everything on my plate, which I didn't give him any, don't worry. He was just like so ready to just start eating foods at 4 months, where Chloe was completely different. She is still just completely happy on mama's milk, and she's a super mama's girl. She just loves that closeness that we have. She was kind of like take it or leave it up until about 5.5 months, and now she's like six months and a week, and she's just now starting to eat foods. So yeah, it just really depends on your baby, and like I said, you're their mama. You observe your baby most of the hours of the day. You are the best person that can make that call when your baby is ready to start solids. Well, I say solids, but purees is what I mean. And then my second piece of advice is to wait until they can sit up on their own. And for Marcus, that was like right around 4 months. And for Chloe, that was about 5.5 months. And I think the idea behind that rule is, well, first of all, it's a lot easier to feed a baby when the baby can sit up in a chair, but I think it just has to do with them able to swallow something that's a little thicker than mother's milk. I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what signs to look for to know when your baby is ready to start trying solids. The first foods that I always introduced baby were whole grain rice cereal, and I have a box here. I love this brand, Earth's Best, because it has just really, it's organic and it has just really simple, great ingredients. So this is what I use for both Chloe and Marcus. This is like your best friend when your baby is starting solids because it's just so easy to mix with some breast milk or water, and you can carry it anywhere with you. It's a powder form and you don't have to measure it out or anything. You just kind of eyeball it, but I would say make sure that you're doing it thin enough when you're just starting to introduce it to baby so that it's easy for them to swallow, and then you can get a little bit thicker as the baby gets older. So they recommend that you start them with the rice cereal, and then the next step would be to introduce wheat to them with the wheat cereal. But you want to make sure that you get the ones with the number 1 on it. Every brand has like 1, 2, or 3, I think, but 1 is for ages 4 to 6 months, and it only has 1 like plain vegetable or fruit. So this one, and there's specific fruits and vegetables that they make it with. So this one is a 1, it's plum, only plums in it. And in those books it will talk more about only starting baby on 1 specific vegetable at a time so that baby can learn to like that flavor. And you don't want to do anything too sweet because you want their palate to get used to the more like vegetable flavors so that they like vegetables too. So I always did vegetables first with Marcus. I have done this plum one with Chloe though. So in addition to the fact that it is only 1 single fruit or vegetable in it, it also is a little bit runnier than the other purees. I like to get organic, and you can get them in squeezy tubes or this little Tupperware type thing, which are both handy. And I usually make my own, but I really do appreciate having some of these on hand just for if I don't have time or we're out, we have to go and we're gonna eat somewhere. I just like to have these on hand that I can throw in my diaper bag. They're shelf stable. So even if you are planning to make all of baby's food, grab some of these. They'll be a lifesaver. So this one is beech nut organic, stage 1. This one's just pumpkin. This one is Happy Baby Organics. It's just sweet potatoes, both stage 1, and the ones I just showed you are both plum organics. So I mean, there's a wide variety of them, but I do like to get organic, especially when baby is so young. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is food ideas. What kinds of fruit and vegetables that you want to feed baby from 4 to 6 months to start off. And I used to have a booklet that had like just an amazing little guide, but I can't find it anywhere. It was written by a French expert. So I'm just going to type up my own little guide and put it here on the screen for you guys. You can screenshot it that way if you want to have it for future reference. So there are a lot of fruits on this list, but personally I did focus on vegetables with a few fruits on the side. So for fruits, you can feed apricots, banana, orange, peach, pear, apple, and grapes. And obviously plums, because we have a plum puree here. You can give baby artichoke, carrot, zucchini, broccoli, watercress, spinach, green bean, lettuce, leek, winter squashes, red lettuce, and tomato. And then obviously the rice cereal for baby. French people also feed their babies butter at this young age. Sometimes they mix the butter in with like a little bit of pea puree because that's how we like our peas. So baby would like it that way too, is kind of the philosophy there. And then the foods that you should not feed baby until they are 1 year old would be honey, dairy milk, and beets. Beets because there's supposedly something in the soil that they're grown in and it can give baby rash. It can be hard on baby's digestive system. Blech, that's a mouthful. So yeah, there's the guide that I kind of went by when I was feeding Marcus and Chloe their first foods. So my favorite things to feed Chloe right now are butternut squash, sweet potato, pumpkin puree, and obviously she likes that plum puree. Right now we have some nice apricots in the fridge, so I will probably make her puree out of those. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a couple more videos like this, so stay tuned for those. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments and I will do my best to respond. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.